Lucas was a curious 10-year-old boy, always eager to explore the unknown. One summer evening, his family visited a small, quiet town on the outskirts of the country. The town had narrow streets, crumbling buildings, and a mysterious alley called Whispering Lane. His parents warned him, "Stay away from that alley, Lucas. Strange things happen there." But Lucas's curiosity got the best of him. As the sun began to set, he quietly slipped away from his parents and headed toward the alley. Whispering Lane was dark and narrow. The tall buildings on either side seemed to lean in as if trying to swallow the light. The further Lucas walked, the quieter it became. No birds, no whine, just silence. He hesitated, but then noticed an old door slightly ajar. He could have turned back, but before he could decide, he heard a soft voice coming from the darkness. It was faint but clear. Lucas. Lucas froze. His heart raced. How did someone know his name? The voice came again, soft and eerie. "Lucas, come in. It's fun here." Against his better judgment, Lucas stepped closer to the door. He pushed it open and saw nothing but darkness inside. As soon as he entered, the door slammed shut behind him. The air felt heavy, the smell of dampness and decay filled his nose. Lucas tried to leave, but the door wouldn't budge. The room was pitch black, and Lucas could hear whispers all around him, growing louder and louder. He turned around, desperate to find a way out. But in the far corner of the room, something moved. A shadowy figure began to form, and to Lucas's horror, it looked just like him. But its eyes were hollow, and its smile was twisted. The shadow crept closer, whispering his name in that same eerie voice. "Lucas, you shouldn't have come." The shadow stopped inches away from Lucas, its dark eyes locked onto his, and it raised a hand. Lucas tried to scream, but no sound came out. His voice felt trapped in his throat, as if the very air around him was being sucked away. Then the shadows and touched Lucas. It was cold, and as they made contact, Lucas felt something strange. His voice was being pulled from him, stolen by the shadow. The whispers grew louder, and Lucas realized they were the voices of others who had been lost here. In a moment of terrifying clarity, Lucas understood. The voices he heard in the alley were the cries of those who had been trapped before him. Their voices stolen just like his. He tried to pull away, but it was too late. The shadow grinned wider, and Lucas felt himself fading into the darkness. His last vision was his own reflection in the shadow's hollow eyes. By the time his parents searched for him the next morning, all that remained was an empty, silent alley. Weeks passed, and the town moved on, but the story of Lucas added another chapter to the legend of Whispering Lane. People still avoid the alley, but some nights, if you listened closely, you could hear a faint whisper, "Help me." One night, a group of local kids dared each other to walk down the alley. They thought it was just a story, but as they stood near the old, forgotten door, one boy swore he heard something. It was faint but unmistakable. "Ethan, come in."